Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm grateful for this discussion. Thank you for your testimony, everyone. I hope this hearing will shed some light on how we can incorporate quality, opportunity, and transparency for workers and employers into workforce development. To listening to my former colleague, or my colleague, sorry, on the other side of the aisle who just spoke, reminds me of the importance of really cracking down on these for-profit institutions that promise skills and then don't deliver. So I frequently talk about the importance of having a path for everyone. As a member of this committee, as a member of my community, as a policymaker, I understand that not everyone's on the same path. And I do want to emphasize that the committee's focus on credentials and competencies and skills should not come at the expense of discussions about college affordability. That needs to be part of the conversation as well. Colleagues on both sides of the aisle with college degrees can attest to the value of their education, and our nation's students and workers thrive when they actually have a real choice between getting an affordable, debt-free four-year degree or entering a workforce training program. This should be a choice, not a decision made because college is not affordable. So, Dr. Kimbrough, our economy is evolving rapidly. New jobs are becoming available daily for workers in existing and emerging industries, and we're in a pretty exciting time and an opportunity-rich moment for job seekers and employers. And I'm interested in learning more about how this changing job market will affect skills-based hiring. So do you anticipate that the credentials available to workers today will change as job opportunities change, and if so, how? And also, how can federal policies such as the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act be updated? We need to improve credential transparency, provide some sort of baseline quality metric for credentials. Transferability, for example, of credentials is important to keep up with the pace of technology, and also collecting data about the utility of micro-credentials.
Thank you, Congresswoman, for the question. To the first part of your question, I would say, as we look over time, we just see how quickly roles are changing. There are roles now on our platform that did not exist a decade ago, and the skills that are required for these roles are also kind of sprouting up anew. So it really is a moment of incredible change, which makes skills all the more important to kind of match people, because there are employers who are creating roles where they're not quite even sure of what the skills are they require because things are changing so rapidly. I see some nodding heads from my fellow panelists. So I would say we absolutely need to focus on the idea that skills are evolving over time, and we need to provide people chances to update and grow those skills in a continuous fashion. We see on our own platform that we have some 40,000 skills, and people at any given time are updating those skills in real time. To answer your other question about, more from a policy perspective, I would say at LinkedIn, we support WIOA and feel that promoting a skills-first approach should be a central tenet of any reauthorization of WIOA. And I do think that including awareness, including encouragement of public and private sector employers to use skills-first approaches would be vastly appreciated.
I appreciate that. Thank you. A few years ago, a very large tech company in this country did a survey of the skills that they're looking for in employees. The technical skills were actually at the bottom of the list, and at the top of the list were things like communication, collaboration, empathy, the ability to work on a team. So I just want to emphasize that those soft skills are really critical as well. We can't lose sight of that. The Bipartisan National Apprenticeship Act is a blueprint for how employers can use skills-based assessment to determine the readiness of apprentices for jobs for which they're hired. And last year, I helped secure funding for a registered apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship program in Northwest Oregon called United We Heal Training Trust. And it provides workers with personal and professional development opportunities, allows employers to recruit and retain skilled talent, but also improves the quality of training for workers. So, Dr. DeBroy, how can registered apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship programs like United We Heal leverage skills-based hiring practices in recruiting and hiring workers, particularly workers from underserved communities?
Thank you so much for the question. Apprenticeships are a really important way that employers can actually implement skills-based hiring practices. I think what's really interesting to look at in the data is what this lever has been able to accomplish for a lot of employers who are deploying it. What we see is much more diverse pipelines of candidates entering these apprenticeship programs than we have traditionally found in those occupations. And so it's actually bearing out what we thought could happen with apprenticeships to actually diversify a lot of occupations that have not traditionally seen workers who are women, workers who are people of color in them at the same rates as other workers. Thank you.
Appreciate that. My time has expired. I yield